Today we begin our fall kickoff series called Creed, in which for the next 6 weeks we will be studying the central truths presented in the Apostles' Creed. Now, the idea of studying a creed or the words of one may elicit any number of responses from some of you. Some of you will remember the idea and like it. Some of you grew up in a church that said a creed, maybe even the Apostles' Creed, and the idea of saying that again feels familiar and interesting to you. Some of you will remember the idea and not like it. Some of you grew up in a church that said a creed every Sunday, and you feel like that the repetition bred contempt. You said it so much you just said it, and it lost all meaning. Some of you will recoil at the idea. You don't like the idea of reciting anything or studying anything but the scriptures, and you certainly don't like anything that feels like traditional church language that is devoid of meaning. You even question some of the statements of the creeds you know. Why in the world would anyone say they believe in the Holy Catholic Church, especially if they're not Catholic? Now, some of you will have no idea what I'm talking about, but now you're curious why many others may have a reaction. Whatever your response is, we want to create a moment for you to have some response. And so here you go. Take your time. Here's 10 seconds. Okay, now hear me out. Before we even talk about the content of the creed, I want you to know that a creed is simply an ordered way of saying something so that people can learn the central message of the creed and remember it. This is a very effective way of learning something and transmitting information. It's why we know "Forward, rebels, win that game" and "Hail, dear old state, fight for that victory today." Creeds are ordered ways of saying something so that people can learn the central message of the creed and remember it. Now imagine we're going to study the Apostles' Creed. The Apostles' Creed wasn't written by the apostles, but it was adopted very early by the community of faith, as early as the 2nd century, as an ordered way of communicating the central truths of the Christian faith with language taken directly from the scriptures. There were 12 apostles, and therefore there are 12 central truths of the Christian faith, organized in a way that those truths can be learned and remembered. Now, think of how important this practice was in a largely illiterate society. The people couldn't read them, they had to hear them and remember them. Now think of our world. In this age of biblical illiteracy and confusion about what is central to the faith, how important is it that we are able to learn and remember the central truths of the Christian faith in order that we may grow as followers of Jesus and share those truths with others? Reciting the creeds is an old practice, and maybe reciting them isn't as important as it used to be, but knowing them and the truth they communicate are. And so for the next 6 weeks, this is where we're going to spend our time. I hope that whatever your initial reaction is, whether you remember using the creeds or resist the idea, or even if it's a new idea to you, that you'll be receptive to what God wants to teach us through the preaching on Sundays and in your small groups as you study during the week, as we consider these essential biblical truths contained in the creed.